Testing. Yo, testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Wait, are we doing audio or only the video, or which one we doing?
Oh, whatever you prefer.
Oh, sure. Video. Because
Okay.
I like. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Is your video on?
Yeah. I'm. Video.
Is my video on?
No, I can't see you.
Okay. How about
Okay.
now?
Yeah, I can see. Can you see me?
No, I can't see you.
Oh
Just a
no.
blank screen.
Oh no.
Oh, there. Now I can see you.
Oh wait, no, that's just a picture of me.
Oh.
All right. Let me see.
Well, it's an improvement.
Oh, I know. Okay.
There we go. Now I see you.
Okay, that's cool. All right, go ahead.
All right. All right. I just moved. I think I told you, so I don't have any
Yeah.
furniture, so I'm just
That's
like chilling in bed. All right.
That's great. That's okay, man.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Wait, is this your laptop or the phone?
This is my laptop.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
So I don't know.
Oh,
What?
so basically, you hit the record. That's what I was waiting for.
Oh, it said recording. It says recording in with a red light.
Oh, is it? Oh yeah, it's okay. It's recording. All right, all right.
If I hit record, it's gonna stop.
No, it's okay. Don't stop. So just leave it in natural. So just for my audience. So all right, here we go. This is cool. All right. I come to realize I'm on a quest to interview people, so I can bring people together to connect. I've been trying to understand people and try to relate to people, and that I feel like this is my calling, my destiny. Now, can you tell me who you are to the audience, and can you tell me more about yourself? And I watched your video about you're talking about that you have what was it? You were adored, but the thing is, when you went to do the entrepreneurship, it wasn't what you expect. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm J-Ryze, and I help heroes build empires. Like I advise thought leaders. So I give really good advice. I always have. I don't know if you want the whole story behind.
I mean, I still want to know because I love stories. Because I was reading your tweet, because oftentimes I'm afraid to speak my truth because it could scare and offend people. But the thing is, I can't always sugarcoat. Like for example, when I want to disrupt an industry, because I think it is an industry for the law of attraction, because I think that too many people are just waiting for things to happen and they're looking for signs, but it's the person that, because nobody do their dream for them. But yeah, I want to hear the story, your whole story. Yeah.
All right. Well, when I was a kid, like I was born to like my mom and dad had four children. So I'm the oldest of four.
Oh, really?
Yes. And my whole, like all of my siblings are really smart. My dad's really smart. My mom's really smart. So like, I don't know, family of smart people, intelligent people or whatever. And so from a young age, I was put into the gifted program,
Right.
the like advanced special school or whatever. And like, I did well there. So for a long time, I was friends with all the, like every clique, like the jocks, the music hall kids, the nerds, the fashionistas, like all of them. I was just friends with everybody. And they all liked me because I could I could just use my intelligence to sort of like win friends. So I was pretty popular, and school went well for the most part. But it wasn't like real friends, right? If you're just sort of manipulating people or just like using your, like I'm just doing stuff for people and they're like, oh, this guy's awesome. So it wasn't really real. And so I eventually got tired of that. And when it came time to go to university, I was like, ah, screw this. I can do better on my own. So I did pretty well out of school. Like I got a good job and it was paying a lot. But I'd always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I was always like trying to start up companies and go out on my own. And so eventually that job petered out and I went and did my own thing. And like actually I ended up quitting. Oh, I lose track of like the timeline. But somewhere in there, I ended up quitting a job and dumping my girlfriend and deciding to start fresh and that I was going to go start my own business. And so after that, there was a lot of years of failure. Like I tried 11 different businesses, or 8, depending if you count like newspaper routes and stuff, like when I was a kid or not. And they all failed. So I failed as an artist. I failed as a designer. I failed as a web guy. I failed as a t-shirt guy. I failed as a life coach. I failed as like a million different things. And it was pretty painful. And I ended up homeless and broke and alone and betrayed and abandoned by everybody. And so I lived that way for like 2 years on the streets, or 2.5, something. And I was still trying to run my own business. So I was still helping clients on the streets, and I carry myself with dignity. So like I was walking around and even though I was sleeping on benches and stuff, I would still find like a way to, you know, groom myself and take care and like look like a normal person. And so I'd walk by like a bum and he'd be asking me for money. And I'm laughing like inside because it's like, dude, you probably have more in your hat than I have in my account. So, but I didn't say anything. I'm just like smile and nod. And eventually I just got fed up with it, and I just was like laying in a park for like 2 days or something, not moving, because I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. I was just like done with life. And eventually like that gets pretty boring. So by doing nothing, it kind of like saved me. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
Well, because my whole life up until that point was like trying to succeed and be smart and like make a business work and force something. And like you talked about law of attraction, a big part of law of attraction is being able to like put your own agenda aside and let things go and go with the flow and let like life or the universe take you where you're meant to go, stuff like that. And so it was like the first time that I stopped using my intelligence and my actions and my hands and my feet and my voice to like achieve something. I just laid there because I didn't feel like doing anything. And so I took away the burden of like trying to succeed or trying to get out of the hole or trying to do anything really. Like I literally just did nothing for 2 days. I thought I was going to starve there.
Wait, this is when you were in wait, you're in America, right? Or
I'm in Canada, Toronto.
So that's when that's happening, when you're in Toronto?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah, so I'm just laying there and I finally gave up and stopped doing what like society wanted me to do or what I thought I had to do, or I stopped trying to succeed, and I just was like, you know what? If I die like a failure, fine. So I just laid there and I got bored and hot because it was summer at that time. So laying there in the park, like staring up at the sky and just for hours and hours, eventually like you get bored and hot. And so it was the first time like I did something like inspired, like, you know, like I'll do what I don't have anything to do right now. I'm not trying to accomplish any goal. I just feel like moving into the air conditioning or shade or something. So I went to a library with all my bag, like my big pack on my back and stuff. And the library was like a nice change of pace. And I hadn't been to a library in like forever. Like, why would I go to a library? I don't know. So I went, just like randomly inspired. And while I was there, I hopped on a computer and I started advising people on the net. Like, because there was a bunch of questions on forums and people were asking stuff here and there, and I always have good answers. Like, I always have good answers, right? Like, always the best answers. Doesn't even matter what the question is. So as I was doing that, people started to take notice and like give me praise and I don't know, I kind of liked it. So I started doing that daily. Like, at least I get out of the weather and I'll go to the library and I'm helpful to somebody. So why not? And after that, like, I started getting more clients and people wanted to hire me and things turned around. So, you know, from there, I've just been helping people rise ever since.
In your world, what you said you were the gifted. How does your mind work? I'm curious.
That's a good question, man.
No, because basically I grew up not in very I grew up a very different world than you. I hated my life. I hated school because you know a lot of adults want me to say I like school. School is useful for you know the basic, but it doesn't teach you about valuable things about life.
I agree.
And that's what I'm afraid to say to people, because sometimes you know we live in the adults world, train kids to, because I don't know if you know Seth Godin, because I read back in the history where you know they make school so they become a cog in a machine.
Yep.
And then you build this machine for the rich people. It's only for the rich people, and you work 9 to 5, and
yep.
But that's how I see the word. But when I was a kid, I hated myself, so I see it. So that's why I'm interested in your mind. I like how, like, did you like study, or what did you do? Like, I'm curious.
So my dad he was like a mechanic and an inventor for most of his life. Now he's in Mexico, like, just chilling, but he was able to fix like any machine. Okay, so my dad could fix any machine. You bring him a machine, he would fix it. He fixed stuff for the military. Politicians like flew him out to fix stuff. Like the heads of companies, like the head of Honda or Suzuki, would call him to fix their machines. Wait, why is it echoing?
I think it's because the video is like it's becoming staticky. That's why.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, he's just like a genius who could fix machines, any machine. So the way his mind works is like.
Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, he could do stuff with Terminator too. Yeah, the way his mind works is I don't know how to explain it, but like he just sees a machine and knows what's wrong, or knows like the path to fixing it, and if he can't figure it out, he just has like a methodical way to eventually get it. It's like he's just always clear on the solution, the answer. And my mom is like very like emotional and intuitive and like kind and loving and compassionate, and she's like diplomatic and like always able to bring peace to a situation or like create like people solutions. And so I'm kind of like a combination of both of those. So someone just brings me any problem, and like I can usually see a clear path to victory, like a clear path to a solution.
Hmm.
And so there's a term for this, I think.
What, cyber mechanism?
No,
Or
it's called diagnostic reasoning.
I never heard that one. What is that?
Diagnostic reasoning, as far as I know, I don't know a lot about it, like, because I don't label my own thinking. I just do it naturally. I don't really need a term for it, or like I don't have to study it or learn about it. I already do it like easy. But what I understand is that it's like a clear, methodical, logical like way to find a goal, but it intuitively it like diagnoses all of the things around it, like the whole situation, and so you have a clear understanding very quickly. So if you have a clear understanding very quickly, you can reach a solution very quickly. I'm not 100% sure, but you could look it up. Diagnostic reasoning. I think that's the closest I've found to how my mind works, but maybe I'm just unique. I don't know.
Thank you so much for that. Now for the way that you talk about society, yeah, I do agree with you on that. Like the way that you describe it, finally you hit home because I was like, yes, finally, because it's really hard when you tell entrepreneurs trying to get that message out there. Like it's the system. Like I despise the system for it because they, when you say that people look the material things for success, or you didn't want to do that anymore and you were homeless. Now when you were homeless, do you get this weird where the average person, they work from 9 to 5 but they hate homeless people, and they look down on homeless people, but they never understand. I remember there was this guy on either on Instagram. He's like, well, because I think the entrepreneur Patrick David, and
Yeah.
and he had a picture with a homeless guy, and I guess he was giving me some money or something. I don't know. I don't remember. But there was there was a comment on homeless people, and he's like, why don't that guy get a job? And I was like, it's not really that simple, because you're dealing with an internal belief system, because I used to have that one when I hated working, because I think that working was like terrible, because you're working all day and you don't get to do what you love. And that's what I interview a homeless guy. Now, did you ever get that like sense of feeling from people?
Well, no one could tell I was homeless. Like I was helping
Right,
clients,
right,
right?
fine. Yeah,
So, but like because I was homeless, anytime someone made a comment about homelessness, I was always paying close attention. Like, what did they think? What did they believe? Like, how do they feel? Because some people talking right in front of me, and they're like, "Yo, F the homeless, screw these guys," or whatever. And like, I'm standing in front of them. I'm standing in front of them, homeless, but they don't know, because I carry myself with dignity. I walk with confidence. I take care of myself, and like I figured out a way to live there, like live on the streets. And so they're just like, man, what a great guy. Like this guy's awesome. Like I love Jay. And then they just start telling me whatever they think, right? Like it's like I'm homeless in secret. They don't know. And they're just like, screw the homeless. And I'm like, really? You gonna say that to my face, man? But they don't know. So
you're like undercover. You're like
yeah,
undercover.
yeah, undercover homeless, exactly. So for 2 years. And so I got a lot of perspective um on how people think and talk about it, because I'm living both sides. I'm talking to people who think I'm doing fine. Meanwhile, I'm actually homeless, and I could hear them talk about them. Like, and I know what it feels like to be that way. Um, but I always say I was homeless by choice. Like, nobody forced me. I don't blame the system. I just didn't like the other options. So it was better for me. Like it was a better choice for me. It was pretty miserable. I didn't like, I hated a lot of it, but like I'm smart. I could have done some other something else. I could have got a job or whatever. But I feel like most of society, actually almost everybody, like people, there's a lot of people out there trying to solve poverty and solve homelessness, but I feel like they're confused. Like they think we need more homes or we need more jobs. It's like that has nothing to do with it, man. You could like it's like putting a band-aid on a like a broken leg or something. Like
Right.
those things are just, you could have like homes floating around everywhere. There will still be people who choose to be homeless.
Right. I think it's about internal thing. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
the belief, because it's the same thing. Why I've been my mind been like it's been stuck trying to like in the past. I didn't want to deal with anything with the job. That's because the entrepreneur, either Gary Vee or someone, they've been pushing the message about them trying to become an entrepreneur or try to escape the rat race. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, so what it comes down to is like feeling valuable and feeling like you belong. So when someone feels valuable and feels like they belong, like when someone feels valuable, then they're needed or they're wanted. Okay? But when someone feels worthless and not valuable, then they're not needed and they're not wanted. So if someone feels valuable, like let's take a starving artist, a broke musician or a broke artist of some kind. Now they have a talent, they have a skill that should be valuable, right? Like music should be valuable somehow, some way. But if they haven't managed to turn it into value, like if they haven't found the right audience or polished their art enough, or they haven't been out there enough, or no one's given them enough feedback, or they haven't gotten positive testimonials or whatever, they haven't got enough Spotify plays or whatever they need to get, then they don't feel valuable. Then the people around them don't feel that they're valuable, and so their audience doesn't feel they're valuable. So they aren't selling and they aren't like making money as a musician. And so they're probably like it's easy for someone like that to end up homeless, because then their parents and their whoever has like wherever their house is soon going to kick them out. Like if they're not paying rent or they're not being valuable, they're not doing chores or they're not helping out and music's not selling. And like now everyone around is looking and being like, oh, you're not valuable. You don't contribute to the whatever. You're bad for society. You're just a drain on my finances. You don't pay rent. And so eventually they get kicked out or they leave or they don't feel comfortable. And so like they end up homeless. But why do they end up homeless? Because they don't feel valuable. If they felt valuable and their music was selling and people believed in them and people supported them and they were getting like they were turning up amazing songs and everyone was loving them, they get crazy Spotify plays, then they're making money and they're like, you know what? I could sell more. I could make more music. I could make money. I could pay the rent pretty soon. Like I'm going to do it. If they're feeling valuable, no one's kicking them out. They're confident they're going to make it. So then they won't end up homeless. Usually it has to do with feeling valuable and feeling like you belong somewhere. So when I'm in the park, like laying there homeless, I feel worthless and not valuable. So the only place I can go where people want me around is this empty park or under this tree or whatever. Like, because at least there, no one's like, you suck. You didn't make a business. You're not successful. Like, I thought you were supposed to be smart, man. How come you aren't making money? Like, I don't need to hear that. It's not going to make me feel valuable. So if I go be alone in a park, like I choose homelessness, now at least I feel neutral. And then when I go to the library and I start helping people and they love my advice and they're like, dude, you're a genius. Now I start to feel valuable, like actually valuable. And then when someone hires me, like they're like, I'm willing to pay for this. Like I would pay for this. You're like, I've never heard a mind like yours. Like you could help me in my business. I will pay you. Let's work on something. Now I feel even more valuable. And now I'm like, hey, I bet I could get more clients. And hey, I could make a living. So when you don't feel valuable and you don't feel like you belong, bam, that's when you end up homeless. And when you do feel valuable and you do end up feeling like you belong, someone wants you, then you start to make money and pay your way and contribute and get a home again. Like you belong somewhere again. So homelessness has to do with value and belonging, but nobody wants to address that. They just want to find jobs and homes. They're totally confused.
Well, I'm glad that you bring that out. I hope that hopefully that's what I've been trying to do. Well, I should do more of it. I've been able to interview one homeless guy, and he's on my YouTube channel. So hopefully he can hear this message. So
yeah, I hope so.
And I hope that he understood that he's a very valuable human being, because I talked to him, and that he's very smart and intelligent, and he knows about the system that the people work, job places. I talked to him, and he's very smart on that, and he reads. And he recommended me the book, The Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell.
Oh, great book.
Yeah, it's a great book. That's I finally understood about how this whole system or how this universe works. Finally, it took me some years, but for you said thought leaders, right? So how can we entrepreneurs or anyone trying to build their business or create content, how can they become a better thought leader? And what is a thought leader?
So a thought leader is it's like a new word for expert. Like they didn't have thought leaders in 1940 or whatever. They just had experts. Oh, he's an expert in his field. Oh, she's an expert in her field. Now he's a thought leader in his field. She's a thought leader in her industry. Like, it's basically the same word, man. Like, people get all fancy and they're like, what is a thought leader? How you define it? But back in the day, an expert was someone who knew their shit and brought new ideas to the table and innovated, and they dominated the industry. Like, they were an expert. And so these days, a thought leader is someone who brings new ideas to the table. They're innovative. They're expert. They know their shit, and they dominate the industry. It's like, it's same thing. Celebrity, influencer, expert, thought leader. To me, they're all basically synonyms. I'm sure there's some like fine details, like, well, an expert's not a thought leader and a thought leader's not an influencer. I'm like, get out of here, dude. Like, they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, basically, yeah, they're trying to influence and trying to get people,
dominate their industry.
Well, that's the thing. How can people become an expert?
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah. So, and what is an expert? Or an expert is just someone who's obsessed with something. Like, Michael Jordan is an expert basketball player, or a star basketball player, or an influential basketball player, or a thought leader basketball player, whatever you call him. How did he get that way? Dude's just obsessed with it. Take someone who collects insects, like entomologist, whatever. And like, how are they know everything. They know every leg. They can spot insects. They can name the insects. They just run circles around everybody. They just know insects inside and out. They're just obsessed with them. That's all.
Never, when you put it that way, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, most people make this stuff way more complicated than it is. Oh, how can I be a thought leader? What do I need to know? I mean, if you're obsessed with something, you'll get there, and if you're not, you won't.
I mean, sometimes, what is your thought on when people are tired of helping people out? Like, what can they do? Like,
tired of helping people out?
Yeah, and then I'm just because I read comment and because they want financial gain. Like, I think that they have to know themselves, right? Like, what are they? Would you think that they should what they should do?
So, like, if we go back to our starving musician,
right,
who's playing music and he's not selling and not getting financial reward, he's not feeling valuable. And so, because he's not feeling valuable, he cannot give value. You cannot give what you don't have. You can't offer what you don't have yourself. If you want to be valuable to someone else, you better be feeling valuable.
So it's a state of mind.
Well, no, it starts with a state of mind, and then your actions come from that. So if I take two musicians, and one feels valuable, like he's just like, man, they're both like, he's a busker in a subway or on a street corner, but at least he's feeling valuable, and he's like, I'm bringing joy to these people that pass by. I saw that smile. I know they're helping, like whatever. If this busker knows he's helping, he's gonna get money put into his tray because it's gonna shine out, man. He's gonna nail it. I've even seen bad musicians who can't sing like get money.
Really?
Sure, because there's so, I don't know if you're familiar with William Hung. He was like one of the
She back.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But he made a lot of money, and he's a terrible musician. But he felt valuable, though. He knew, I'm making people laugh. Like, I'm making people smile. I love doing this. Like no talent, but he knew he was valuable somehow. Then you take this guy. Maybe he has the best music on earth. Maybe it's amazing. But he's just like, nobody pays me. I can't market this. Like, he doesn't feel valuable. So he has way more talent than William Hung or the busker. But he doesn't, like, he's not bringing joy to people on the street corner. He's just sitting in his room bitching. So, like, he'll get mad and tired of making music because he's doing it for financial gain. But this guy will never get tired of making music because he's just doing it because he loves it and he knows it helps people. He ain't even looking for music, this guy. Money. This guy isn't even looking for money. I mean, he has the tray out, but you know he doesn't care. Even if it was empty, he's just happy to play music and share his love and be valuable. He likes to feel valuable. This guy, maybe he has all the tools and all the stuff and everything he needs to win, but he feels miserable and he's just doing it for financial gain. He doesn't feel valuable at all. He feels desperate and annoyed. So you got these two people, they both are valuable inside. Like, they both are valuable straight up. But if you can't find a way to feel valuable, then you're going to fail. Like, when I was failing all my businesses, I was still a genius. I wasn't magically not. I was always smart. Maybe I was more of a dick back then, like I didn't know how to treat people or something. But I should have been able to make money. But I didn't feel valuable. And I only started feeling valuable when I was laying in that park and I just did what I wanted to do. And then I went to the library and then I started offering advice and people loved it. And like, then more and more I felt valuable. It's an individual thing that it can work for anybody. But if you ever see someone who's like, nah, I'm tired of doing this, I want financial gain, they're not feeling valuable and they weren't doing it for the joy.
That makes sense. Thank you so much for that. That's cool. Because I often, because I see a lot of people that, like, not everybody had the answer that you need oftentimes. But you have to. That's why I bring experts here or people trying to get different perspectives so it can help other people to broaden their mind. I think that oftentimes people oftentimes, because they're like they only can see their perspective and they can't see zoom out, so they can't see it.
Yeah,
it's not easy. Thank you so much for that. That's make. So what you think that this is your destiny, or this is your purpose in life, that to help heroes build companies, or you think so?
I mean, I feel like people get too attached to like they want to have one thing,
right?
One destiny. Like you look at like Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher was a huge superstar actor,
right?
But he's been off the radar. Like if you asked him back then, what's your purpose? Is he going to say my purpose is to act? Maybe, but that obviously wasn't his purpose, because now he's a big tech investor and business accelerator and investor, and his speaker and motivator. He doesn't act like at all anymore. I don't know. Like,
I didn't catch up to him for a long time.
Well, whatever. But like, what's his purpose, right? And if you ask his purpose when he was 20, and then you ask his purpose when he's 30, It's gonna be different. So like for me, my purpose is just to help people rise. Like I've been doing it all conversation. Like if you bring a mindset to me, I elevate that mindset. If you bring a problem to me, I elevate that. Like I provide a solution. If you bring like a musician to me, we're gonna make his music better. If you bring, or if his music's already the best, we're gonna work on his like home life. I don't care. Like just everything rise. Like the world could be better. The school system better.
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk about too. That's one of the trying to. That's one of the things that I want to improve on the educational system, because it's not doing, because there are people who don't feel worthy or value, I should say.
Yeah.
That who are labeled as special education. And for me, it took me a long time to feel that I was smart enough, good enough, that I was, because I think that we are all genius.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But because it took me a long time. I have to read books and like understand. Holy shit! Like we can use our brain to access something that wasn't there before to be able to hit a goal, right?
Yeah.
But society just doesn't tell you. Society tell you that your whether your talent or whatever you have is fixed, but it's not, right? We have to have a growth mindset. But you're right. Your purpose or destiny can change as you move towards that, right? Because I never knew that I would be doing interviews with people. I mean, at first I was gonna do book reviews.
See?
But yeah,
it changed. But maybe your purpose is to just have multiple perspectives. Like book reviews and interviews are both multiple perspectives. So like your general purpose could be multiple perspectives. Like my general purpose is to just rise, elevate things, right? Like uplift, make everything better.
Right.
So the method of how I do it, like, do I do it through helping empire builders? Do I do it through book reviews? Do I do it like, I don't care, like whatever, wherever life takes me. But like I'm not too picky about that particular purpose, but
Right.
but probably I won't change my main like general purpose behind it all. And so probably you will always look for multiple perspectives.
Interesting.
No matter what activity you're involved in.
Interesting. That give me another, like, but what make you want to help rise people? Is that like your core value or something? Or
yeah, like I've been doing it since I was a child. Like if something seemed unfair, I would try to make it fair. If something, like if my parents were putting like the wrong bedtime for me and like all my friends got to stay out later, I'm like, why? Like it doesn't make sense. Let me try and elevate my situation. Or if they were having trouble in life, like I would give my parents advice and they'd be like, wow, that was really smart. And it's like, yeah, I just want you to be better. Like I just want things to be better. If I started any business I started, I'd take a look around and be like, well, most web design sucks, so let me try and make it better. Like so I did. Like I was better at web design than most people, but I still failed at that business because I don't want to be a web designer. But I just wanted to rise the industry. Like it would have been better if I was advising a web guy or a web company on how to disrupt their industry. Then it would have been amazing. But like I don't know. I just look around like almost I just kind of hate everything and I always think it could be better. So or I love everything and I always think it could be better. Take your pick.
But the thing is, that's a very good mindset that we can adopt. Whatever people listen to this, we can adopt that we can rise and build whatever we want to build, right? Without having to whatever society dictate that where we should go.
All of it can be better.
Yeah, I do agree. I forgot about what I was gonna say, but I can't remember. No, but I like that idea. And oh yeah, that's what. Why? Okay, so why do you want to help people? Because I've been trying to, because there's a pattern that I'm trying to figure out. because I'm trying to find the commonality between people. There's no difference.
Yeah, there's no difference. The reason everyone wants to help someone, everybody wants to help someone, is to feel valuable. If you imagine an empty planet with one human on it, and they have nobody to help, like, their life will be miserable and they'll probably kill themselves. Or they'll try and find a way to help the animals instead. Like, if there's no one, they have to, like, humans have to feel valuable. We're not on the planet to feel worthless. So it all comes down to feeling valuable. And so why is someone helping someone else? They're doing it to feel valuable. Why is that busker singing his song on the street corner? He's doing it to feel valuable. Hopefully he gets money, but whatever. He just wants to get some smiles on some faces. Anything to feel valuable. So why do you do interviews? Probably to feel valuable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and pick anybody. Pick the biggest celebrity you know. Why is Ashton Kutcher investing in people? So he could feel like a valuable person contributing to society.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dumb. I call it because what was it? The lady that interview, her name is Alizi Cortez. She said why I wanted to, what defines success for me. I wanted to have significant contribution, right? That's
yeah.
Because it was never towards, because when as you grow older, adults look at you how you either you have a car or a house. That's how they define success. But for me, it's different. It doesn't make me happy if I have that thing determine my success. That's why I do these type of things. But you're right. And you talk about a lot about failures, right? How does that? Because I have a lot of failures, and my failures are like the greatest day of my life was getting kicked out of high school because I skipped in school and I went to boarding school. But for you, it seemed like you're not afraid to tell that you fail. Like, what have you learned from it, and what do you see in that? What lessons do you see?
Well, like, when I'm talking to someone, I use the word failure, but in my head, I never think that. So, because I know how people talk and think. So if I say failure, then it's gonna communicate the right idea. They're gonna understand me, and we can move forward with the discussion. I don't want to sit down and explain like, well, I don't really believe in failure, and I never think about failure in my head. But like, so I just use the word for everybody, right? Like for your audience, for your people, like, because they'll get it. But that's not really how my mind thinks. Like, I don't actually believe failure exists.
Really?
Yeah, because like we're all gonna die.
Right.
And so, like, imagine like a child who comes to, like, gets born premature or early birth or whatever, and then they die in the incubator, or they die like 5 seconds after. Like, was that child a failure at life? No, they didn't fail. They just fulfilled their destiny or their purpose. They were on the planet and then they left it. Now imagine a toddler who makes it to like 12 years old, and they were like, I don't know, maybe they did a lot when they were a kid. They were like a child prodigy violinist or something, and they die in a car accident. So they never really built a career. They didn't do anything major, but they were starting, like, they were pretty talented. They were like setting records for their age or something. And they die. Are they a failure?
So, wow.
So then imagine me, a grown man, and I make it to 30 or 40, and I failed 11, like my 11 businesses didn't work, but I'm pretty smart, and I'm starting to set some records, or I'm starting to be impressive, and then I die. Like, I die homeless and alone in a park or something. Am I a failure? So we're all going to live our lifespan, and whatever happens in between, you can never really label it as a failure. If you come to the planet for 5 seconds and die, not a failure. If you come to the planet for 12 years and don't accomplish much and die, you're not a failure. If you make it to 30 and you still didn't do something, you're not a failure. Like we all have our time to go, and like there's no judging what happened in between.
I mean, that's a very useful mindset or helpful. It can give hope a lot of people who have none. That it can bridge the gap between the young ones and the old ones. That there is no failure. That there is, but all through those things though, you have a pattern recognition, right?
Yep.
But I think that you can see patterns where you can make the decision. Because I think that failures are only a stepping stone to see patterns where you can make differences. Because it helps you to understand many things that you didn't understand. For me,
yes.
I think failures are like, even though for me, it's like a testing ground that we don't know.
Yeah.
We often.
Like it's experimenting, it's learning, it's growing, it's improving, but like none of those things are failures. Like experimenting, growing, learning, and improving are all amazing, fantastic things. So where's the failure come in? I was born, I learned, I grew, I improved, I understood. So like, I don't know, I failed 11 businesses, so I grew, learned, and understood more than most. So that's a success then, right?
Yeah. So you have the information. Yeah.
So it's a success. So failure doesn't exist.
That's God. Yeah. That's beautiful, man.
I'm saying, man. But like when I'm interviewing, I don't have time to explain all that, right? Like you asked, so I explained it. But usually I just talk to the interviewer. And I just say, yeah, whatever. I failed 11 businesses. But in my head, I'm like, failure doesn't exist, dude. I don't even believe what I'm saying. But at least it tells the story. Like.
Yeah, I mean, no, because basically the reason why I'm trying to get people to understand that no matter where they're in life, that they can become a success right now, and go whatever they are meant to do or whatever they want to do.
I agree.
And so now, for me, I'm a very spiritual person. I don't because I had an accident. Well, not an accident. Like a heart breakup back in 2011, and 2013. I woke up to this world, understanding that this world just. I call it the shattered glass, that everything I thought was true, but I was indoctrinated. And so everything that, it was a weird journey because I've been trying to understand how the universe works. But I don't think that there's a coincidence. We can somehow send a energy out to the universe and cause things to happen. So what about your spirituality? What's your thoughts on it? I mean, are you like any religion?
Well, I was raised. My parents are Christian, so I was raised like studying Jesus and the Bible and all that stuff. But like kind of like with failure, I kind of don't really believe spirituality exists either.
Yeah, I was actually trying to question that a lot. Like, I was like, is it somebody made up, or is it there's actually spirituality? Yeah, I'm trying to understand that. But yeah, go ahead.
So I feel that like spiritual things and physical things are tied together. So it's just one big thing, like a life thing or a universe thing. Because like there's no action without thought.
Right.
And quantum physics, like everything's vibration and frequency. Like even the things that we think are solid are not solid.
Right.
So like I just feel like there's physical laws that people don't really understand, like that are operating, but that we're not conscious of. And so then
Right.
we explain it away with spirituality, like. But I feel like if we understood the laws and applied them, like it wouldn't be a mystery anymore, and you wouldn't be like, oh, it's so spiritual. You'd just be like, wow, dude applied the laws really well. He leveraged good vibes, or he leveraged love like well, and he got what he wanted, or he leveraged law of attraction well and got what she wanted, or whatever. Like that's not very spiritual. I think it's just like, well done. Like either you use these things well or you don't. But we all live in them. They're all operating all around us. And some people get the hang of it and some people don't so much. But like it doesn't really have much to do with spirituality. Like the law, like gratitude. If you use gratitude well, you will do well in life. Gratitude is magic. It works wonders. It's like a law, like the law of gratitude. I don't know, like I don't have a name for it, but I know it works, and I know it applies to everybody universally. And some people use it really well, and some people aren't grateful, and that's that. And then they'll point fingers and be like, God wanted this, and God wanted that, and spirituality this, and yogi that, and I'm like, whatever, man. Like, you could label it all a million different things, but all it really is if you apply these laws well, your physical life goes better. And if you apply these laws poorly, your physical life goes pretty poor.
Do you think that there's a theory? I interviewed a physicist, and he talked about simulation, and even Elon Musk talked about simulation. What do you think about simulation theory?
Simulation theory?
Yeah, because they think that we're in a simulation.
Yeah. I think it's like fun to think about. Like, I'm sure that physicist has a lot of fun pursuing that theory and studying that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, what does it matter?
What
Like,
do you mean?
it's kind of like if you and I went to a beach and I said the water was cold and you said the water was warm, and we both have a different perspective. Like, one thinks it's a real life, one thinks it's a simulation, whatever. So you say the water is warm, I say it's cold, but we both jump in and like we have an experience. Like we both jump in and I'm shiver a little bit and you're like relaxed in it. Like, what does it matter? Because the water is what the water is, right? Like the temperature is the temperature. So you call it what, like it's whatever degrees. It's like 50 Fahrenheit or whatever, or 60 or whatever it is, or 70, or and you find it warm and I find it cold. We could debate about it all day. The theory. Well, you know what? I think it's this. Well, no, you know what? I'm pretty sure we're living in this. Well, I'm pretty sure it's warm. Well, I'm pretty sure it's cold. Who that, like, we could debate it all day. It's a fun thing to think about. It's a fun debate. But
Yeah.
but who cares, dude? Just enjoy the water. Just swim. Like, live your life. Like, we're all in it. So we're all in it. So who cares if it's a simulation? Like I don't care what this guy thinks. Like, fine, it's a simulation, or fine, it's warm, or fine, it's cold. I don't care. I'm still swimming.
Wow. You do tell the truth.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I read your so what so in the what does success look like to you? Now, many people, the only reason I ask this question, even though some people like get interviews to ask this question, I want to ask because I never knew success, right? Success, I thought it was just material things, going to school or get a
Yeah, I used to
degree.
think that. I used to think that too.
Yeah, because I think that the degree, I don't. It offends a lot of people when I say like I don't. I have two certificates mean nothing to me because it doesn't. I think that too many people are hung up with this piece of paper with ink on it, that they think that this piece of paper gives them value. But I say that the person that went through the experience, developed the skills, has value.
Yeah, well, I didn't go to like I finished school at high school. I don't have any piece of paper from anywhere really.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I was in the gifted program. And I finished grade 12 or 13 and then I stopped. Wow. And all my friends went to university or college, but I didn't go.
Really? Okay, this is a very interesting topic. What made you not go to university or college?
It was boring and annoying. I'm really smart and I could learn more on my own than these guys teach me. They're so slow. They teach so slow, dude.
Huh.
And they teach stuff I don't even want to learn anyways. I want to learn about, I'm giving you amazing truths. I'm talking real shit about science and law of attraction and homelessness and failure. And like, I learned this stuff. They're never going to teach me this stuff in school. So why would I even go? It's like a giant waste of time. F that.
Wow. Okay. This game. Because basically that's the thing because there's people who's like, no, you shouldn't say these things. And there are people like me, I want to like go on the edge and it's like, no, you have because in my opinion, like school doesn't teach you anything about how to think about for yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's pretty cool. Like I never really thought. But what do you think that how can the current educational system can improve?
Oh, tons of ways. There's so many alternative education systems out there. Like there's some amazing homeschooling programs. There's some crazy like Deepak Chopra universities. There's there's alternative living universities. There's even there's like children's books, law of attraction children's books. Like it's all out there. There's so many ways we could improve it. Just no one bothers.
When I was thinking, do you read? Or do you, how do you learn?
I've read more books than most people I know. I'm a speed reader. When I was a kid, I could read super fast.
What type of book did you read when you were little? I'm curious.
Everything, dude. Fiction, nonfiction, comics, graphic novels, textbooks. I don't care. Like, I just read it all.
Yeah, there's definitely, yeah. I can say it, yeah. I can say it. Goddamn. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay. But no, go ahead. Like, how do you, okay, speaking of speed reading, how do you speed read? I tried many methods, but for me, I read a book by Tracy. What was it? Either Create Your Future. He said, the things that you need right now, just pick a chapter and read that and apply it in your life. That's how I go. I don't read. I used to read the whole book, but then I forget the information. But how do you go through it?
Well, so I told you, like, I kind of have like diagnostic reasoning.
Good.
So actually, to me, most books are like filled with useless words. Like, I'm pretty sure you could point out a book to me, like a 300-page book or a 200-page book, and we could summarize that into the most important stuff in like 20 pages or 50 pages. That's why they have Cole's notes and stuff, like Cliff's notes or whatever. I feel like if a reader is paying attention, they don't need all the words. All the words is for like dumb, slow people who don't pay attention. Like, at least for me anyways, like I can understand stuff quickly. Like you could start talking about simulation theory and I already understand everything. Like I don't need a big long explanation of what simulation theory is or whatever. Like if someone's like, simulation theory is when people think they're living in a simulation. I don't need a 300-page book. That's it. I get it. Like that sentence is all I need. If Napoleon Hill says your thoughts determine your reality, I get it. I don't need all the words. So because I understand stuff quick, I can skip entire chapters. I can read the first line of a paragraph and skip the paragraph. Read the second line of a paragraph, skip that. Like, I can tell if they're gonna like bring up some exceptions. Like, okay, this thoughts create your reality, but, and as soon as I see the but, guess what? I already know what's gonna happen. they're going to list 3 or 4 exceptions. Right? That's why you say thoughts create reality, but what's the author going to write next?
What? In my head, I'll say but this is what?
They're going to write some exceptions. They're going to be, but you have to do X, Y, Z, or but it doesn't work if you're this, or but a lot of people fail because of this. Like, I could write this book. Like, I could write the rest of the paragraph just from the first sentence. Like, I already know what the guy's going to write. I don't know exactly specifically, but like, if you can understand how people think and talk and write, then most of the books are like filled with meaningless junk. So for me, it's huh?
Sorry. It's my bad. I interrupted.
I'm just saying, for me, it's easy to read through this stuff and get the important info. Same with fiction. Like, you know, they want Harry Potter to defeat the bad guy, but Harry's reluctant. And so, you know, it's chapter 4. So what's the rest of chapter 4 going to be? Harry fighting back and forth with these people, a long discussion about should we defeat the bad guy or should Harry go defeat the bad guy? And there'll be a bunch of like reasons why he should and a bunch of reasons why he shouldn't. And they will put pressure on him and he will resist the pressure. And so I could like skip to like most of the end, or like, I don't know, the last page or two, and find out what happened. Like I know how this chapter goes. I just don't know, does Harry choose to go and fight the bad guy, or does he win and say, no, I'm not going? That's all that's necessary for the whole chapter.
Holy shit. Your mind works a very different way.
Yeah, man. But like, to me, it's so simple. Like, I could read the first sentence of the chapter or the first paragraph. I know what's gonna happen, dude. We all know what chapter 4 is about. And then you know how they're gonna write it and play it out. There's no surprises here. And you just double check, like, as you're reading through or skimming, like, you just double check, like, did I get it wrong, or did I, you know, like, I'm still reading, like, I'm not like just skipping the entire thing, but because I have this foreknowledge, it makes my reading quite quick.
Right. Yeah, that's I think you know Ty Lopez for his content.
Yes, Ty Lopez. Yes.
I love Ty Lopez for it because he reads a lot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge.
What was it? Here in my garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love him for because a lot of people don't like saying, "Oh, that's not how you get go through that." You know, but no, what he a lot of people bash on him, like saying that, "Oh, that's not really reading." So what do you say to those people who say that's not really reading?
I say it's not reading for them because their mind is slow and they're poor at taking in information, and they need to go through a lot of repetition and bullshit just to get the point. But I get the point fast, and I understand things fast, and I could write this book with the back of my hand with my eyes closed if I wanted to. Like,
Jesus. How's your mind like so open? Like, how do you like let like stream of information in? Like,
well, I don't know. I was born that way, but like, I think anyone could do it. Like, you just intend to do it. Like, I just want to understand things fast. Like, you asked in the beginning, how do you become an expert at something? Well, I'm an expert at this. Right? And so what was my answer? How do we become an expert?
That one I forgot.
We get obsessed about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm obsessed with understanding quick. I'm obsessed with truth and clarity. I'm obsessed with anything that helps people rise and make it better. I'm obsessed with how I can read better and read faster. I'm obsessed with rising and better and better and better. I'm obsessed with understanding better and more. So I'm an expert at this. So like, how can we become like this? Well, be obsessed like me, or don't. Like, you don't want, it's not for everybody. I'm not trying to be obsessed with science. I'm not like some super scientist because I'm not obsessed about it. I let them be obsessed about it. And if people want to understand like me as fast as I do, fine, be obsessed about it. But maybe it's not for you. maybe I'm the one who's meant to do that.
Oh. I can tell that you have like very confidence in yourself. Like,
I do.
I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I was like, oh shit. He's like, yeah, dude, like the whole conversation, I was like, you spitting fire. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, that's how you go. Roll out.
That's how we roll. Autobots.
No, but do you okay, so I want to get to the fun too, because oftentimes I want to do interviews with fun time.
Well, I have another meeting like
What and when? How many?
9 minutes.
Oh shit. Okay. Let's do this. If you can have any superpower, what would it be?
Mind control.
Are you serious? This is almost like in Heroes, where they had I forgot who had mind control, where you can mind. Why?
Siler?
No, Siler. He fucking
Yeah.
It's like the cop guy. It's the cop guy. He had like this control.
Yeah. The cop guy.
Yeah. I don't remember his name though. He looked like my uncle though. But yeah. But why?
It's a good show.
Yeah, good show. Yeah. For my character, it's gotta be Hero. But no. But why? Why mind control?
Because I feel like my mind is amazing, and if I could make everyone think like I think, the world would be so amazing. Like everyone would be rising, but that's not like you don't really want everyone to think how you think. So it's kind of like it's just a fantasy. Like it would kind of make the world suck because you don't get different perspectives. So you know, it's just like I don't know, just like cocky shit. Like
okay, a couple of minutes. Where can we find you, Jay?
Rise Online everywhere. RYZE online everywhere. So
okay.
at Rise Online / Rise Online wherever.
Okay. Thank you so much for today. I'll see you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I enjoy this. Thank you.
Much love.
I'll see you. Have a good day, man.
You too. Cheers.
I will. Yeah.